The Minnesota Vikings were just one game away from their Super Bowl dreams.
The Vikings on the near side, glancing up at the scoreboard. A bit shot, a bit dazed.
Now, their big three must lead them forward.
Come on, let's be special, all right? Score over what you do, sure. Touchdown, Vikings. Come on, let's go. We got to score one more now. We got to make the play.
30 days until summer's battles become autumn's war.
We're in San Antonio.
Matt, here's Susie Colbert.
Mike, Vikings head coach Dennis Green has had to guide this team, this organization, through the most difficult circumstances. Denny, it's been 5 days since Corey Stringer was laid to rest. What's the emotional state of your team?
Well, I think we're making some progress step by step. I don't think we could be expected to do any better than we're doing right now. Our guys are anxious to play tonight. I think we're looking forward to playing. And we've worked very hard during this past 5 days.
Physically, you've only had 2 practices in pads, and you haven't scrimmaged. How concerned are you about diving right in against a team as physical as the Saints?
Well, they're very physical. We've played them a lot. We normally practice against them, so we have missed out on that. I think our guys are ready. What we'll get better during the course of the game. In other words, I think that you can play yourself into shape. You can play yourself in hitting in physical shape during the course of the ball game, and that's what we expect to do tonight.
Top priority?
I think when you play well. I mean, the guys on the first line have been bugging me to play more, so I would imagine we're going to start with those guys the first quarter, a few series in the second quarter, let them start the third quarter for a few series. So they're not going to quite get a full half, but they want more action, and we're going to give them more than we normally give them in the first game.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Susie. There are thousands of Viking fans here to see pro football in San Antonio and to pay tribute to the memory of Corey Stringer. We'll be back right after this.
And the Vikings, preseason football, the first time the Vikings will have had any contact at all this year. Coin toss going on. Dennis Green now in his 10th year, and that ties him with Bill Cowher for the longest tenure of any coach with a single team. That is a remarkable statistic in the NFL. Dennis Green, a true survivor in this business. Right now, let's go to the public address announcer, Stan Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please join both the Saints and the Vikings as we observe a moment of silence in honor of Viking All-Pro tackle Corey Stringer. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vikings and the Saints, thank you very much.
And that is the kind of reminder that this team is going to be facing all year long. Joe Theismann and Paul McGuire join me now. And Paul, the Vikings still have Moss and Carter and Culpepper. Maybe the bigger issue who they don't have.
Well, this is Dante Culpepper's second season as a starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. The interesting thing tonight is how he handles the pressure and the loss of 2 Pro Bowl tackles in Corey Stringer and Todd Stussy. And also Pro Bowl running back Robert Smith, who led the NFC in rushing a year ago, was responsible for 38% of this Viking offense. But I think when you look at it last year, Dante Culpepper was in a comfort zone with these 3 guys.
Joe, when you talk about quarterback out of Central Florida leads them out.
Vikings football.
Brian Saucer and Doug Chapman is the running back. Blitz coming. Culpepper runs away from it. This guy can really go 260 pounds, and he runs over Fred Thomas. It's a gain of 20.
That's the risk you run. If you want to try and blitz him and he gets outside, all of your defensive backs have gone downfield to try and make a play. But watch the to work together very much, or with this kind of heat. You Talk about one of the best defensive lines in football that the New Orleans Saints are putting out there. So this isn't just somebody you warm up against. They're coming at you full bore.
Jake Reed, the number 86 in, is the third wide receiver. Four-man rush. Culpepper with time. Deep down the middle. Moss! Goodbye!
You wondered how long it would take. And it didn't take long.
Well, Denny Green told us the other day, the one thing I really remember he said, he says, you know, we may have a better offense than we had in '98, and that was frightening.
Well, your concerns are about the offensive line, but you still have the 3 stars that can make plays. How do you make up for a Robert Smith? There's one way, Mike.
Gary Anderson. Methuselah with a point answer. An 80-yard drive in 1:38, and Randy Moss with the big bomb for the touchdown. 7-0 Vikings. We'll be back after this. First incompletion of this ball. I mean, they're catching everything so far.
And they're going to need Byron Chamberlain. We talked about ways to replace Robert Smith. He's going to be one that's going to have to step up and be a receiving tight end for them.
Caught 54 balls the last 2 years with Denver. He's a good one. Here comes the blitz. Culpepper runs right up the middle. Dante Culpepper, look at the speed to go with the 260 pounds.
You know, it's amazing. I'll tell you what. He saw the blitz. He read it. Klein Saucer, number 40, who was playing in the fullback position, and he is huge. He gets an excellent block. But the thing about Culpepper is he doesn't even hesitate. Watch this. He sees the blitz. I'm gone. Here's the hole, and he's upfield. Now what? That's 260 pounds, folks.
And you've got the defensive backs running down the field trying to stay with Randy Moss and Chris Carter.
The New Orleans 30-yard line. And Michael Bennett, the prize rookie out of Wisconsin, is into the game for the first time. He followed Ron Dane, the Heisman winner of Wisconsin, and racked up some big numbers. Play action to him. Culpepper, the Moss, and he dropped it.
Now they're coming in and say he dropped it, but there are 2 officials down there that didn't do anything.
You won't see that one very often.
Just remember, you have to have possession of the ball and come down with both feet. It's not like, you know, when you see, all right, here's Moss here coming across the middle. Now, does he have possession of the ball when he tries to put it away? The ball's in his hands. No, he never did. It's an excellent call. See, the ball is never had control. He never had control of the football.
He's just looking for some place to run before he caught the ball.
Bennett trying to get outside, turns the corner, and picked up nearly 10 yards. Bennett, a very good athlete, comes from an athletic family. His mom was a high school basketball and track star. His uncle Tony was a star at Alabama, first-round draft choice by Green Bay. His uncle Charles was with the Dolphins briefly. He certainly has the pedigree.
He also has a move. You see a move he just made to the inside and went back outside?
He's a Big Ten sprint champion. To be in the huddle with all those superstars.
It's just a great feeling. You know, like a kid at Christmas time. You get that gift that you always wanted. And you know, and it's the same for me. I get in the huddle and I look into their eyes, and it's just like, man, you know, I'm here. And it's just unbelievable.
Very pleasant young man. It's like Christmas time, and you've got as much money as Santa.
I asked him if he got the autograph yet. He said he hasn't asked yet, but his mom wanted to know why.
Let's go to Susie Colbert.
And we talked about him being overwhelmed. He tried to compare the pros to college. He said in the pros, the playbook is like Webster's dictionary. At Wisconsin, it was like a children's book. A lot to learn, especially for him on third down. He needs to be able to pick up those blitzes.
You know what was really nice about him yesterday? He's in the meeting room with us, and he left a plate of food on the table. And Chris Carter came in, and he looked at him begging him, "Do you mind if I get my food and leave now?" Scared to death.
He's still a rookie. Bennett is back in there behind Kleinsoffer. Run the option with Culpepper. Touchdown. I think that's a great play in that situation.
I'm going to tell you, if I'm on defense, that's frightening. That is frightening, watching that guy go down the line and running the quarterback option.
It's a great play, but also for this individual, for Dante Culpepper. He just makes a fake. He runs through a defensive back, runs right through his hands. Piece of cake there for Jay Bellamy. You know, that's the kind of plays I think we'll see out of Michael Vick with the Atlanta Falcons
I agree.
I think that type of athletic ability.
Anderson is on for the point after. Perfect again. So the Vikings providing some fireworks in San Antonio, backed up by a touchdown.
We've talked about the offensive line, and Brad Badger right there is going to have to replace Todd Stussy. Look at the job he does. Offensive linemen have got to come out, comes out, does a good job on Joe Johnson. Now right here, see how he freezes? By sealing it here, he gives Dante Culpepper an opportunity to make the turn on the corner. Now he only has to option on the back, or else he can take it in and run over Jay Bellamy.
He didn't option on anybody.
He always option on the secondary guy.
He wanted to run over somebody is what he wanted to do.
Mike Tice, right in the middle of that offensive line huddle, is one of the guys that's really...
Chris Carter, of course, the spiritual leader of this ball club, and we asked him how he addressed the team after Corey Stringer's death.
We just cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. And, you know, I told them then at that point that I really needed some of them to step up and help me, because I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the things to say. I don't know all the right things to do. But the one thing I was committed to was keeping us together as a team.
Culpepper being chased and throws incomplete, trying for Andrew Jordan. You know, I can't think of anyone better than Chris Carter to help bring a team together. He has matured so much. He has so much respect from everybody else in that locker room.
Well, I think also Chris is one guy, but I think Denny Green is another coach who has handled a lot of very difficult situations with this football team. And I think the combination of these men as leaders for this football team will serve them well. I think they'll get on and get on to business. They've played very, very well tonight. I mean, they've come out and played very well.
Culpepper to the shotgun against the four-man rush. Moss bobbled it incomplete. Had it, then lost it and couldn't get it back. Tim Carter, the rookie, was with him, but Moss could have had a touchdown out of that one easily.
Did he fly or what? Oh, fly. But forget about him flying. You got to look where this ball is thrown to. This ball goes between two people, and watch where it hits Randy Moss. Look at this. Right in the hands. I mean, that was absolutely perfect.
Berger is on to punt, and McAllister waits back at the 10.
Sure.
Randy Moss beating himself up a little bit after dropping that touchdown catch. And now he's going to pay the penalty. He's going to do his own set of push-ups.
That's what happens. Give me 20.
We're about a deuce. Go to Susie Culver. Susie.
And Randy Moss has had a couple drops tonight. Certainly not in his character. This has developed since the end of last year. Dante Culpepper always jokes that his coaches say don't throw it into double coverage. Randy's always saying to him, go ahead, throw it. I will come down with it. Well, there he doesn't, but usually he does. And Dante knows it's a safe bet now.
The other thing about that, Susie, is you saw about the 20-yard line, Randy throw his hand up in the air. That's a silent communication between he and Dante that if he throws his hand up in the air, he's not breaking a route off. He's taking it to the house so that both the quarterback and the receiver know. When you got a guy that fast and he feels like he can beat people, it's a perfect option to give him.
I know it would be slightly impractical, but I wouldn't mind watching the Vikings if I was a Viking fan. See it throw it to him every time.
Neither would he. Randy's that way. Randy's that way.
I bet he did 50 push-ups. Because when we came back, when he was doing it on the break, when we came back, he was still during the play. I used to do like 5 or 6 in the entire year.
You really bumped up.
I felt great.
Fernando Smith.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Kickoff weekend, the 82nd NFL season. To celebrate, President Bush will toss the coin. Minnesota has heads, Carolina has tails. Let's go to the White House for President Bush.
We're here in the Rose Garden to help kick off the NFL's 82nd season. This is a great day for fans. And I want to salute the NFL for its long history, lasting influence, and the quality of its athletes. I'm glad to be joined by members of Washington's Metropolitan Police Boys and Girls Club, all future NFL greats. And now to officially begin the NFL's 82nd season, the coin toss. This is heads. This is tails. Here we go. It's tails. I wish the players of the NFL good health and have a great season.
Thank you, Mr. President. And the Carolina Panthers have won the toss. And they'll start this season on offense, and I'm sure Chris Wenke, the rookie quarterback, is excited just to get on the field and get rid of those butterflies early on.
Absolutely, and I guarantee you one thing that's going through every player's.
Right now, let's go down to the sidelines. Mike Goldberg is with Denny Green. Mike?
Well, thank you very much, Ray. Obviously an emotional 5 weeks with the loss of Corey Stringer. Perfect in the preseason, but how different is it today, Denny, as you play your first real game without Big K?
Well, it's our intention to be world champions. It really is. I think that today's a good step in that direction. We're going to take each week 1 week at a time. We got a great group of young men with a lot of character, and hope springs eternal for us and everyone else.
Matt Burke becomes more of a leader on the offensive line, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He's always been that way, though. He's a young player. Matt Burke, Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper. They're young guys, but they're tremendous players, tremendous leaders.
Also the loss of Robert Smith to retirement, but you are very high on Michael Bennett. How quickly can he be an impact player in this league?
I think he'll be an impact today.
That would be awesome. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Back upstairs to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, Mike. You see Denny Green there. Incredible record, 92 and 52. Winning margin 8 times to the playoffs. He's just done a great job here in Minnesota.
And he was talking about Michael Bennett. When you talk about Michael Bennett, we talk world-class speed. We're talking in the 100 meters, 10 flat. That's incredible.
Tell you, another guy that can get it going is Steve Smith. Returned 101 yards for a touchdown in the preseason. The rookie out of Utah is back there ready to receive along with Isaac Bird. And we're underway as Chris Hovan got there first. Robbins gets the sack.
Robbins got the sack, but the whole reason the sack happened was the penetration by number 99, second-year player Chris Hovan, who does the penetration. And look at Robbins circling all the way around to the left side, making the sack. But it all started in the middle with number 99, Chris Hovan.
Second and very long for Wenke.
Moved around a little bit. Todd Susie obviously left Minnesota in the offseason to go to Carolina, and he was tangling with Lance Johnstone, who the Minnesota Vikings picked up from the Raiders. Interesting story about Todd Stussy. He called up offensive line coach Mike Tice, wanted to have dinner with him last night. Tice's reply to him, I don't eat with the enemy.
Take a look at that Viking defense, which an area of needed improvement, ranked 28th in the NFL last season. Johnstone, whom you've just talked about, Hovan, Robbins, and Sawyer are up front. McDaniel, Wong, and the rookie Patrick Chikura are the linebackers. Tate, Griffith, Thomas, and Wright are the defensive backs for Minnesota. And just 8 interceptions last year for the Vikings. They brought Willie Shaw in to increase that. And now they had 8 already in the preseason. So they're getting better as far as that goes.
And George Seifert, we asked him about this Minnesota defense, and he said, it is obvious to me from watching them on tape that they are playing with more intensity and more energy than they have in the past. So Willie Shaw is a move that's paid off for Dennis Green.
So things have been sorted out, and it's first down and 20 plus for Chris Wenke.
Hide himself on the bench.
First and 10 from the 20. The Vikings offense gets another shot at it. Culpepper on play action. He's hit from behind, and he throws it late, and it's incomplete.
Two Super Bowl contenders, I think.
Second and 10, Carter in motion. Michael Bennett tries the left side. Bennett with a little bit of a seam, and now he gets hit, and he stops short. That's Damian Richardson coming up from the safety spot with a big hit.
Out at the University of Wisconsin, so does he have the most supple of hands? I don't know.
Caught only 5 balls in his college career. Second and 10. Culpepper. He drops it off to Bennett. Bennett breaks a tackle and gets enough yardage for the first down. Michael Bennett showing a little power. Picks up 11. And then you see some of the chippy stuff at the end, and that's something you talked about earlier that Mike Tice said his linemen were going to get involved with. They had to.
He said that we were going to finish plays to being almost borderline dirty. He finds Michael Bennett in the flat, and actually Michael Bennett gets held up by Dan Morgan and Deion Grant, and here comes a lynching is going towards one Deion Grant as well as Richard Anderson covering Randy Moss. You can see Deion Grant, he's a safety in the deep half, but all of his attention is going towards one receiver, and that's number 84, Moss.
4 wide receivers in the mix for Culpepper on second and short. Takes it out of the shotgun, quarterback draw, Dante Culpepper, touchdown.
What they did, the Vikings, on this play is they had 4 wide receivers in the ball game and spread them all out. 3 to the right and 1. Randy Moss back to the left side, and they all run up the field to clear it out for Dante Culpepper. As you can see, this is a design running play, and if I'm a quarterback, I like to have number 40, Jim Kleinsaucer, leading up in the hole. He's a big man.
Gary Anderson nails the extra point, and the Vikings get on the scoreboard. A 6-play, 51-yard drive, a Culpepper 7-yard touchdown run, and it's 10-7 Carolina. Second and 3 for the Vikings. 3 wide receivers in the game. Chris Carter still on the bench. Culpepper going deep for Randy Moss. Moss with his first catch of the day.
If the interception didn't get the fans back in, I guarantee you this catch by Randy Moss, his first of the day, has definitely gotten him back in. This is just a little out route to Randy Moss, and what a great throw by Dante Culpepper, and he does a great job of getting both of his feet down in bounds. Drags that right toe.
Well, all you fantasy players out there, Moss, 1 reception, 28 yards.
His decision in throwing it out of the back of the end zone to not take the sack or any lost yardage.
Big third down here, 3rd and 8. 2 tight ends in the mix. Bootleg, Culpepper. Nowhere to go with it. He keeps it alive. Now he throws it to the corner of the end zone. Caught by Carter. Touchdown, Vikings. And Chris Carter now has 125 career touchdowns. That ties him for 5th all-time with Walter Payton.
And Chris Carter is limping. We have seen him throughout the course of the game getting his hip stretched. And Chris Carter is noticeably limping now. What a fantastic job of getting his feet down in bounds in the end zone.
And how about Culpepper keeping that thing alive and then throwing it on a dime? Gary Anderson on to add the extra point. It's blocked. Sean Gilbert up the middle blocks the extra point. So the Vikings have kicking problems. They've missed a field goal. Now they get an extra point blocked. But they still take the lead 13-10 here over Carolina. Let's take another look at this touchdown. And it's an incredible job by both of them.
We talked about the offense generating all this momentum. It came on a drive where
it's Andrew Jordan who called the timeout.
Talking to Dennis Green about Dante Culpepper in the preseason, he said he had a tremendous camp. Last year, his numbers were incredible. Completed 62.7% of his passes. 33 touchdown passes, 470 yards rushing.
7 touchdowns on the ground, reaching this elusive club, the 40 touchdown club. Those are pretty good names on top of Culpepper.
And the amazing thing is that a lot of those guys that are above him did it mostly in the air. And Dante's been able to do it not only in the air, but on the ground with his own legs.
We'll see how his legs did on this one. We're going to measure this. It could bring up a 4th down here for the Vikings. Culpepper, the leading rusher for the Vikings, 9 totes, 47 yards.
Those quarterbacks are 215, 220. Here's a quarterback that's 265 pounds, and you put that on the back of an offensive lineman who's trying to lean forward, and you can get 6 inches.
Yeah, that's not fair. 1st and 10, Vikings trying for the comeback. Culpepper down the middle, wide open, Chamberlain. Byron Chamberlain down to the 10-yard line. Give him 28 on the pickup. Vikings red zone offense. 2 tries, 2 touchdowns. Here they go, 1st and 6 from the 6. Play action, Culpepper. Finds some room. Dante Culpepper. Touchdown. No, he's just short. And the ball came out. And Carolina says, hey, we got the football. That should be a touchback.
You can hear the Carolina players, all of them are yelling touchback, touchback.
Yeah, if you fumble through the end zone and it goes out of bounds, it's a touchback.
And Chris Carter did the smart thing in pulling Dante Culpepper out of the mix, so nothing would happen. Let's take a look and see if in fact he did fumble it before he stepped out of bounds, as the official claims. Chris Slade and see, but Gerard Cooper lays a hit on him and the ball's out.
That's fumble, but
that's a fumble.
Just depends on which side of the pylon that ball went out on.
That's a fumble.
As you see the red flag there, George Seifert gave it a heck of a toss. It's down there around the 10-yard line. He threw it all the way out there.
Excellent play by Gerard Cooper, and hustling to get to the pylon before Dante Culpepper could.
I mean, you talk about a flag throw, and Carolina, George Seifert let that thing fly. There it is.
That's a long time ago. That shows a lot of years of success.
That's so long. You were still playing back then.
Absolutely.
That's a long time ago.
Absolutely.
But what a surprise, too. And the last people who expected this were the Vikings. I mean, they came in here the only undefeated team in the preseason, expected to have great success. It didn't happen. 2 minutes left. Carolina 24, Minnesota 13.
Here now, Al Michaels.
Opening night in Vesco Field at Mile High, the Denver Broncos leading the New York Giants 14-7. Opening night, 32nd year of Monday Night Football. So many of the greatest games in the history of Monday Night Football were played next door at old Mile High Stadium. That will be demolished probably in January. We thought it was worthwhile tonight to take a look back at some of those memories, which began in 1973.
That October 22nd was Orange Monday in Denver, a night when the franchise's image would undergo a sea change.
This town and these players have thirsted for national recognition. Look at there. Denver has struck suddenly here in Mile High City.
That game, it's strange how one game could do it. But that was our first respected night, first Monday night game. Played them nose to nose, didn't lose.
Turner who will kick from the 35. This to tie it up at 23. There it is.
That Monday night game is the beginning of us. People say you're never happy with a tie. I remember we were ecstatic that we could tie the Raiders.
The elements were off in the Broncos' 12th man. But on an October Monday in 1984, when Green Bay came to town, you'd have thought the Packers had come with their weather.
You walk out and the snow is about that deep.
Tom Jackson charged the ball loose and picked up by Steve Foley. Foley's in the end zone, very first play.
We had to station a person on each side of the 5-yard line, the goal line, and their job was to run across the field to clear the snow off.
Yeah, it got a little bit nippy at that one. I had to put a shirt on because I had gotten a frostbitten across the chest.
In the 90s, when Kansas City came to Mile High, we always found intense drama and big hits.
And who else could do that but Atwater?
With the Nigerian nightmare, Christian Okoye neutralized, Denver held on to win by 1. But revenge came 4 years later when two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time locked up in a duel for the ages.
One of the greatest games I think maybe Monday Night Television ever had was the game between Montana and Elway, a game that I've watched a couple of times, and even today watching it brings back a lot of memories.
Elway for the end zone, touchdown! Joe with time, throws back to the end zone, touchdown J.J. Burton. Touchdown Willie Davis, unbelievable.
Lord, you can take me now, I've seen it all.
You know, there's an energy that was a part of that place that could almost lift it off the ground.
Last year, fittingly, the final Monday night game at Mile High featured two bitter rivals, and it came down to a storybook last play ending. 41 yards away. And the Broncos win.
Mile High memories. Remember walking out of the building that night in '94 after that Montana Elway duel, thinking one thing: this is why America loves football as much as it does. Who knows, in 50 years somebody will do a piece on Monday Night Football about the great memories in Invesco. They begin tonight. Greasy with a touchdown pass there. Bronx up by 7.
Gets winded. Take